Hi, beautiful people. How are you today? This beautiful Saturday morning, my birds are singing again, as they like to do, which I love. And there's kids playing outside in the backyard, and it's amazing. And it's nice. It's nice to hear life. That's how I see it. So again, whether you join this morning or maybe you watch this later, I hope that you take time today to breathe, to meditate, to pay attention to your process, and to connect. Whether it's other people here or with people you love. I posted in the thought for today, what does more love mean for you today? It's something that I think about often when dealing with challenging moments in life. There was a quote by someone who, growing up, I admired deeply, and that's Mother Teresa. And her work was incredible. She found a way to show up and to love more, even in the ugliest of moments, and even in the people who most wouldn't approach or address. So I loved that example in my life very much, and so I often ask myself, and I do my best to ask myself, what does more love mean in this moment or in this circumstance? And oftentimes that comes up for me in challenging moments, maybe in interactions with others that are difficult, maybe amidst conflict, maybe when I get frustrated with people or I feel unheard or unseen. And I do my best to come back to that space of what does it mean, more love right now? And how can I show up with more love? And sometimes I have to ask myself that question for myself. Sometimes when I'm being really hard on myself, I have to ask myself, how can I love myself more right now? But usually I think of it, if I'm honest, when I'm frustrated with someone else or hurt or feel hurt by someone else. I ask myself, what does more love mean? So today, I thought it would be a good opportunity as we breathe, meditate, focus on awareness of what our process and thoughts are, and connect with you. So, as always, we'll start with breath. And so important to take time. Those kids need to focus on some breathing. So, if we can tune in together and focus on some breath together right now, as we dive into our meditation for today, and then we get to be connected, and I'm grateful to connect with you. So, we're going to continue with our deep breathing as we've been doing all week. And we're going to focus on 6 count of breath in, expanding in the diaphragm, then expanding in the chest, and then exhaling for the same amount of time. Hi, Robert. Good morning, Catherine. And as we breathe together, the intention of breath is not only to heal the body, intentional breath, but also to become present moment. If you've done any level of self-awareness or self-development, you've probably read or heard somewhere that if you're focused on your breath, you can't really also be focused on something from your past or too much in the future. And this is a really, really good practice to have, because oftentimes much of our frustration has to do with the fear of something happening, which is future focused, or we're consumed by something negative, which is based upon a past experience. So it's good to practice just focusing on your breath, the simple task. And we say simple as if our attention span has the capability to do it. Oftentimes it doesn't, and that's okay. It takes practice. But if we focus on our breath, present moment awareness, we can just be here and practice being present. Why does that matter? Well, because life is here right now, and it's not so much about a later time, and it certainly isn't going to help us to continue to relive our past. So practicing breath and being present with your breath is a really, really powerful tool that translates into being able to focus on the present. Maybe it's as simple as appreciating the person right in front of you. Maybe it's as simple as not pulling out your phone all the time and actually being where you're at, whether it's reading a book or working on music or movement, the movement that you're doing for the day. I'm listing all these things that I do, and maybe there's many different ones for you. So let's focus in on your breath. We're going to do 6 counts in and 6 counts out. And maybe you can just take a moment today to be present. Put some things down around you and breathe. And take time to focus on yourself and connect here with everybody choosing to do the same. I hope you do. So for me, I like to sit open-handed. It's a very receptive position for me. And we're going to focus on our 6 counts of breath in, breathing deeply into the diaphragm. And exhaling. If you can exhale and inhale through your nose, wonderful. If you have to open your mouth, that's okay too. Breathing deeply in. And exhaling. Maybe it feels a little difficult to breathe in that long. That's okay, it takes practice. Expand your diaphragm in your belly. Expand in your chest. Bring lots of oxygen into the body. Good. Breathing deeply in. Just be here with your breath. Good. Breathing deeply in. And exhaling. I'm having some joy right now for hearing the children playing in the yard near me. It's good the kids are outside being kids. Breathing deeply in, connect to your breath. Find the joy and the life around you. Whether you're outside or inside, I think we need that a lot right now. And good, as we do our body scan today, really tune in to yourself and what's going on within your mind and within your body. Just become aware. Just become aware. And just allow that to be enough. You don't have to tune everything else out. Just be aware of what does come in. Let's clear the head as we start at the top of our head. Releasing the tension. Are you maybe stressed, worried, frustrated? Can you breathe deeply in and let it go? And if you can't, maybe you can become aware that it's there. Maybe in awareness we can look deeper at why something is in existence. Moving down the body into the neck and the shoulders. Can we release the tension being held there? Oftentimes, we're carrying concern for something that is not ours to be concerned with. Worry. Can we send love for those maybe that we want to feel worried about instead of choosing to carry their burdens? Can we choose love and release that worry? Moving down the body into the chest. Is there tightness? Have we been breathing with short breath lately because of fear? Maybe as you breathe deeply in, do you feel resistance to that big breath? because the body has been accustomed to being restricted and tight. Maybe we can breathe deeply and expand instead of contract. Love is expansive. Let's allow more love in. And maybe we can even open our hearts a little bit as we expand. As we move down the body into the stomach, how are we nurturing our bodies? How are organs functioning for us? Are we supporting them in thought? And so our body is well? Are they not functioning well because our mind is full of fear or self-judgment or judgment for others? As we breathe deeply in and expand, can we allow more love in? And as we exhale, allow love for others. As we move into your hips, can we notice any tension there? Is there tension in your hips because you've been sitting a lot lately and maybe not moving? Have we been sitting or stationary a lot lately because we don't feel good? Or maybe we feel down, and so we're not moving as much. And then tightness grows in the hips. Can we breathe deeply, relax the hips? Let go of past pain. Let go of what we no longer need today, and invite in more love. And as we breathe deeply in, can we become aware of anything in our legs? Can we release the tension and have gratitude? If we can move our legs, then we can invite movement into our life and we can be well. When we choose more love, we choose expansion, growth, acceptance. Moving our bodies would be allowing our bodies to operate in a way they're meant to, allowing more life into our bodies. So as we breathe deeply in, today we're going to invite in more love for ourselves, more love for people who really need it. The more we elevate our frequency, the more we can share it with others. So breathe normally, but do your best to still breathe deeply. Expansion with breath. How can we invite more love into our world, into our life? How can you love yourself more today? And just notice what comes up as you ponder that. can I love myself more today? Is it hard to think of ways to love yourself? And where does that come from? Is there a belief underneath that? A sense of lack of deserving or unworthiness? Is it easy to love yourself? Is it getting easier to love yourself more? To wrap yourself up? To choose what is good for you? To not choose out of obligation or guilt? And what would it mean today to give more love to others? Is there someone in your world who is frustrating you a lot? Someone you're upset with? Is there some negative emotion you're holding on to towards someone in your world? That instead, maybe they need more love. And how can you love them more? Maybe it's just simply to release that negative emotion so you no longer carry that energy. Maybe it's something more. Maybe you can reach out to them. But how can you love more? There's a lot of people, groups of people that are feeling a lot of fear. Without judgment, how can we love them more? How can we support the opportunity for them to rise and elevate into a space of love? There is no greater frequency than love. How can we rise to more love today? I am love. Repeat this mantra in your own mind or out loud. It's up to you. I am love. I am love. Notice what comes up as you say this mantra. I am love. Can you feel more love? Do you feel resistance to love? So today, I'm going to focus on more love. More love for myself. More love for my loved ones. More love for people who are struggling right now. More love for people who are afraid. More love for people who are negative. More love for people who are angry. More love for people who are feeling hurt. How can I show up with more love today? Focusing in on our breath. Let's finish with 3 big, deep breaths. 6-second count in through your nose and exhaling through your nose if you can. Breathing deeply in. And exhale. Breathing deeply in. And exhale. Breathe deeply in. And exhale. I feel so good. How do you feel? This is one of my favorite times in the day. It's watering my roots. It's time to regenerate my cells. It's time to change the chemistry in my body to a more positive and healthy state. And it's time to connect with you, which I love. So, what are you going to do today to love yourself more, to show up with more love, and what are you going to do for others? I'm so glad Robert says, brilliant, I needed to pause a while. Me too, brother, me too. I am so thankful for this time. My commitment to do this every single day, Monday through Friday at 7:30 in the morning and on the weekends at 10, is not only my commitment to you all and to anyone who needs to pause and slow down, it's also my commitment to myself. And I appreciate that, because just you all showing up keeps me focused on that commitment. And especially in this time where maybe a lot of us have a lot less structure, some of us don't. It's really, really good to keep some structure in our world in healthy ways. For a lot of people, that means combating the shift in structure that they've received. Maybe it's they're not working anymore. Maybe they're working from home. Things change. We step out of our routine, our normalcy, and we have to really counterbalance that. And one of the ways I do that is really, really focus intentionally on taking time for myself. And it works. It works. My day is so much better. So if you're just jumping on, how are you showing up today with more love for yourself and for others? Let me know. I would love to hear from you. And how are you going to make today a better day? What are you going to do for you to water your roots? And what are you going to do to help others to do the same? I feel more now than ever a very, very strong urge to elevate my frequency and to be a sense of support for others doing the same. In this time where a lot of people may be feeling heavy and struggle, I feel lifted and elevated. I have so much more expansion in my heart, and so I am always looking for ways to extend that to others. We're all very deeply connected, and so when I grow, you grow, and when you grow, I grow. And the more we tune in to watering our roots and connecting to others doing the same, the more we're going to experience that same extension and expansion of the people around us. So I hope today you take some time to pause. I hope today you focus on more love. Like I said in the beginning, one of my favorite mentors growing up with was Mother Teresa. And she had a saying that said, do what love requires. And I have spent much time in my younger years in prayer about that, and much time in my older years in meditation about that. Do what love requires. In every moment, do what love requires. When I'm feeling frustrated or upset, do what love requires. When somebody says or does something that's upsetting, do what love requires. So my interpretation in my life is I always say, how can I show up with more love? More love. When people are struggling, they don't need less love, they need more love. when I'm upset with myself, when I'm feeling guilty, when I'm feeling shame, when I'm feeling anger. I don't need less love. I need more love. And I need to be able to work on giving that to myself. And how can I do the same for others? We don't need less love. We need more. Catherine says, today I'm going to take myself on a long walk and smell the flowers. I love that so much. Such a simple thing. But it's a decision to slow down, to really nurture yourself, to elevate your state so that anyone you come in contact with and whomever you send something to, you're doing from an elevated state. So thank you for being here, whether you joined live or you are watching this later. I love you so much. I hope you know how incredible you are. I hope you know that you deserve more love. And I hope you give yourself that today. And I hope you give others that same thing today. I will see you all tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. That's Mountain Standard Time or time in Arizona. I hope to see you. Share this with others if they need it, which I think we all do. And let's get many, many people connecting and dialing in and setting themselves up to be an example of more love in their life. Have the best day ever today. Know your worth.